All right, let's go, Trent. Talk to me. Tell me about your reaction to the game.
All right, man. Well, hey, I came on the show earlier last week. I talked a lot about Dak and his mismanagement of the game, and he didn't do that against Tampa. He kept the ball clean, threw 4 touchdowns, had a passer rating, a very high passer rating. I saw a stat, I believe it was the second highest passer rating in a playoff game.
Mm.
I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I read that. Uh, Sad time for a Buccaneers fan, but at the same time, we talked about it. We were leaking oil, and at the end of the day, we're an 8-10 football team. 2 wins against playoff teams, including the Cowboys week 1, and then Seattle, who was 1 game over 500. So, while you're hopeful as a Bucs fan with Tom Brady, you knew this was possible. Um, I didn't feel like the Bucs were really out of the game until it went from 12-0 to 18-0. Shout out to Maher for keeping us in the game for at least a little bit. But reports today, Byron Leftwich may be gone as the offensive coordinator, and I'm kind of just focused on where this team is heading at this point. You got to give the Cowboys their flowers. We talked about Dak. I was very impressed by Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was a game wrecker. Donovan Smith had no answer for him. And then on offense, we turned the ball over. And last week I talked about we had to win the turnover battle, which we didn't. That play by Brady, the pick by Brady in the end zone was, I don't even know what the play call was. All the receivers ran to the same spot. It was kind of a lob. And unfortunately, it was a turnover in the end zone that was a huge part of the game early. So, I mean, I just have so many mixed emotions. I could go on and on and on, talk about coaching changes coming up, talking about how we handle the future, but we can save that for another time. But kudos to the Cowboys. Give them their flowers. They played a great game. I think it's a little bit of a disservice that they have to play the 49ers on Sunday night when, they just got done playing till basically Tuesday morning, and the 49ers were done on Saturday night, and the 49ers get to stay in San Francisco. So, it's just
it don't matter, Trent. It don't matter.
Yeah, well, hey, I love the confidence, but I think it does matter at least a little bit, So, kudos to the Cowboys, man. The Bucs. I grew up a Bucs fan, man. These last 3 years have been a luxury. I'm used to this type of heartbreak, and the fact that we were in the playoffs at home this year was a win for me.
Gotcha. It was like a miracle almost, right? When the season went. All right, talk to me down there.
Man, I'm going to start by saying this. Shout out to Kellen Moore. Great game plan yesterday. He called the perfect game, and Dak executed the perfect game yesterday. All around, it was a great team win. I'm going to give Dak all the credit he deserved for that win. But what's not being spoke of was the defensive performance last night. Granted, Tom Brady's old. Granted, like you said, Trent, y'all were leaking oil. It's still Tom Brady. It's any given Sunday, and it was Tom Brady, and that defense stepped up and performed and did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was no shock. I knew we were going to beat Tampa Bay. And that was just based off of what I've seen with the eye test this season. Tampa hasn't put too many complete games together this year. And I had no faith in them coming in the playoffs, putting a complete game together. As far as McCarthy and Kellen Moore, like I said, shout out to Kellen Moore. He called a great game yesterday. I don't think he went wrong. He finally did what I asked him to do. Give Tony Pollard more touches than Ezekiel Elliott. As you can see, that's the game plan. He should be the premier back going forward. As for the 49ers next week, knock, knock, Dave, we coming. We coming, and we coming hard. Trent, I understand you feel like we're being slighted by playing Sunday at 6:30 after just basically finishing the game this morning. I look at that as a positive. I look at it as we can continue to ride hot in the San Fran. Everybody's expecting us to go in San Fran and lay an egg based off of what nobody has ever gave me any points to why we would lose to San Fran. It's never been nothing negative. It's just based off of history. Dallas is going to be Dallas. No, give me actual facts to why we should lose to San Fran. And there are not too many. This game isn't, for me, this game with San Fran, it won't be 50. It won't be 100% on my players. This is going to be a test for Dan Quinn. Can you outsmart Shanahan? Basically, can you outsmart Kyle Shanahan? Because at the end of the day, Kyle Shanahan runs the perfect offense for Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
He does what he's supposed to do. He get the players that need the ball. He get them the ball. And Brock Purdy right now he's playing perfect game manager. But what I will say is the due theory. Brock Purdy due for L. And I believe this week is when he show up and show that he's a rookie. He make mistakes. And Dallas coming in, close game. I give it 21-17 Dallas.
All right. So look, I'm not in this fight, but I do want to get my 2 cents in this. I picked the Buccaneers for this reason. And like you said, Warren, it had nothing to do with like stats. It had everything to do with, okay, I got Tom Brady over here, and I got the Cowboys over here. Who do I think I think the Cowboys might not live up to their hype, and Brady going to overachieve, some crap going to happen. That was it. But black and white, y'all kind of did what y'all supposed to do. You know, that's how I looked at it. That's why I'm not like, now I'm not going to kill Dak. I think he had a good game, but I'm not going to lift him up like everybody's doing. Like, oh my gosh, Dak is the best QB. Now you understand, like the whole media, because y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. Like Trent said, y'all was leaking oil. Now you want to talk about give you a reason why y'all should lose to San Francisco. Well, I can give you that. I want you to give me a reason how y'all gonna beat San Francisco. How about that? But number one, they are the number 2 rush defense in the NFL. Y'all thrive with y'all rushing attack. So y'all rushing attack is doing good. Dak Prescott is less pressure on him. Play action works. He can do his thing. That's not gonna fly it's like the Buccaneers are polar opposite of what the 49ers are.
I'm not going based off of the game we had against the Bucs last night to why we gonna beat San Fran.
No, I'm talking
our
about
our run game didn't thrive and make the passing game last night. Our passing
game.
No.
Last night I play the Bucs, who don't get pass rush. The Bucs don't rush the quarterback really good.
They don't.
The 49ers are the best at it, probably. All right. That's the problem right there. And then defensively, they couldn't. Tom Brady was terrible. Sorry, Trent. Like Tom Brady was terrible. People were wide open in the flats, and he was missing people.
But that was the pass rush, Joe. That was the pass rush. The pass rush got there early, and it shook him.
Because it's Tom Brady. Tom Brady is that interception Trent's talking about. He flinched on that. He tried to throw the ball away. He flinched and he underthrew it, and then it was an interception. Like Tom Brady.
Are we going to say it's Tom Brady? Or are we going to say the pass rush in the beginning of the game affected the way Brady played for the rest of the night?
Listen, I'm not trying to discredit y'all. I'm just telling you that with like the game, probably not you down there, but you did say give you a reason why y'all will lose to San Francisco, right? What flew with the Buccaneers is not going to fly with the 49ers, I'm saying. All right. And then, like you said, Kyle Shanahan is the best play caller in the NFL. But look, we're gonna get to that game. All right. Let's focus on this game right here. So, Trent, I want to ask you this. All right. Why are you still on? Tom Brady. What do you think he's going to do next?
Well, I think it starts with the coaching staff, honestly. Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles have not been winning over the hearts of Bucs fans. I think Byron Leftwich is gone, and I don't know if Todd Bowles hangs around or not. I really don't know. I think it's unfair to put the whole blame on Todd Bowles because I think Brady's to blame, Bowles is to blame, Leftwich is to blame, Arians is to blame. I mean, people forget before the season started, we didn't have Tom Brady and Bruce Arians was our head coach. So it flipped real quick. So I'm not saying that that's why we were bad, but I'm just saying there's multiple fingers to point. There's multiple moving parts. I think if Brady plays, he'll stay in Tampa, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I truly don't know. I think he stays in Tampa, or he could go to San Fran or Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
No, and maybe Miami.
I think San Fran ain't gonna get him. The
Yeah, I think San
Shanahan,
Fran is out the picture.
yeah,
I
the
give it. I give it Vegas. Vegas. It's either
Dolphins
Vegas
Bengals.
or retire.
Cause the Shanahans are like they run a show. Like they ain't let Brady come in that thing and change the whole offense, all that stuff. Now, do you think if y'all had Bruce Arians as y'all head coach, y'all would have been better this year?
I do because I think we missed the attitude. I think
Mm-hmm.
Todd Bowles was a huge part. It's alarming because Bowles was the defensive play caller when we won the Super Bowl, and Leftwich was the offensive player caller when we won the Super Bowl. So Arians leaving kind of just that attitude. I mean, we saw it kind of reminded me of the old Cowboys with Jason Garrett. I mean, you were
Mm.
you were just begging this guy to fight for your team. I'll never forget the Des Bryant drop game. Like he just stood there like nothing happened when you should be blowing a gasket. So I think that kind of sets the tone for your team.
That's a good point.
And you know, that identity was missed heavily. And I think putting the responsibility on Bowles to call the defense and manage the game a little more, and maybe Leftwich not having as much freedom because I think Arians had a hand in the play calling. Um, but then there's reports that Arians was scribbled out by Brady. So you just never know. I mean, with people having the stories out there, you just never know the full truth. But it's definitely an interesting offseason for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point that you made right there. You know, but Jason Garrett,
Yeah,
you
but
just you just open up a bad memory for down there.
yeah, man, all he used to do is sit on the sideline, smile and clap.
No, yeah. Slap him. That's all he did.
My nickname for Todd Bowles this year was Mr. Folded Arms.
For real. Every time they got the
Yeah,
camera on, he just like that the whole time. I didn't even
I
know
mean,
how he sound until one time I listened to this press conference. I'm
I
like,
didn't
that's how he
like.
sound?
I don't like how conservative Todd Bowles played
Yes.
y'all. He was very conservative this year. Like I didn't expect y'all to be that conservative.
But he never really blitzed though, right? I'm not mistaken. He's not really
Well,
a
and you
blitzer.
have to remember I mean everyone has injuries, but
Shaq Barrett,
you know,
yeah.
the defense was a core. The defense core was there, but we were without Shaq Barrett, who was
Mm-hmm.
our leading pass rusher. Jason Pierre-Paul was not on the team this year. Nanama
So
Sue was not on the team. We brought in Hicks, but Hicks was kind of damaged goods. And who else was not on the D line? We had Ghost in there. We had Nas. Yeah, I think everyone else was there. But
Yeah, but I think
we,
at that point, you got to get creative.
no, for sure, for sure. I'm not saying that what we did on defense this year was great, but talking about Joe and talking about how Bowles sounds, there's multiple interviews with players on the defense who rave about Bowles, and I'm starting to wonder if it's because they kind of can get away with everything.
he's a good guy.
So, I mean, you know, the like I said, the willing to. I mean, we were so aggressive in that Super Bowl against Mahomes. Granted, the Kansas City Chiefs were without some linemen, but I mean, yeah, 3 linemen. So, but Mahomes ran for 400 yards backwards that game. So, you know, we just, like you said, we just didn't have that aggressiveness, and I think it starts, and that could have been a Bruce Arians identity thing. But we
Yeah.
lacked an identity this year, and that's what football team with talent and no identity get you is 8-10 first round exit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. Patrick Mahomes got pressure more than anybody in any game, not Super Bowl, not playoff, in any football game. He got pressure most by anybody. And I want to say it's funny how last week. Now look, I'm not trying to kill Dak. It's just that people overvalue stuff. Last week when they lost the Commanders, I ain't see a lot of Cowboy fans in the chat. But when Dak have a good performance, he the best QB in the league compared to some people. But it's all good.
And that's because they're a little blind to the truth. It's okay.
I don't want you on here killing your team. All right, this whole
No,
part.
I ain't killing my team. I'm killing the fans, Link.
Not to mention the one interception. Carlton Davis couldn't only not intercept the ball, he could tip it just enough so Gallup could step out of bounds, come back into the end zone, and regain possession.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to lift up Dak either, but he did put up a good performance. I don't think our defense is the San Fran defense, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Dallas won.
Yeah, that was Dak's best game. But now you're right.
Yeah.
I thought he stepped out of bounds too, but they would have scored anyway, Trent.
I think
It
so,
was-
but at the end of the day, how do you not pick that off?
That's true. Went right through his hands.
And not
And
only
y'all
do you
needed
not,
that.
yeah. So, I mean,
He not that guy no more. That's all. He just not that guy no more.
I do think though the game changing play was the interception by Brady.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely.
Cause defensively, cause that drive I was moving the ball too. I'm gonna watch and I was like, man, the Buccaneers hasn't looked this good all year for real. Y'all was moving the ball.
At that point, defensively, we were on our heels.
Well, and we had Rashad White have 7 carries averaging, I believe, 6 yards a carry. He had 7 carries for 49 yards or 42 yards. And then we were bringing in Leonard Fournette, who had 5 carries for 12 yards.
That's
So that
amazing.
goes back to the keeping everyone happy. You know, it just doesn't make it never made sense all year.
Yeah, it
And
definitely didn't make sense last night. I mean, every time the commentator said, the Bucs can't run the ball. I mean, Rashad White, he was doing pretty good last night.
Right, exactly.
I believe if you kept running the ball, the score wouldn't look the way it looked. The game might have been a little bit closer.
Well, if Mike
Yeah.
Evans would have caught the ball at the end of the game, it would have been a little closer too.
Oh yeah.
That would have went from like a 0% chance to win, like to 0.5% chance to win.
Yeah, because Rashad White, 7 carries, 41 yards, averaging 5.9 per carry, while Leonard Fournette, 5 yards, 11 carries, averaging 2.2. And
Five
then
carries.
they had
5 carries, 11 yards.
11 yards,
Yeah.
2.2 yards per carry. And they said that Alex Tabo's in the game, and he's my zone. They stopped the run, right? I'm like, dude, you gotta commit to like when you have to commit to the run, man. Like, my thing is this: you can't like Brady. Obviously, you don't want to get sacked, all right? But they become so predictable in the second half of the game. Brady threw the ball 66 times, and people might say because they were down. No, it wasn't that because they were down. It's because they
That's
weren't
their
running the ball.
offense.
Yeah, it's their offense, man. And then we all know Brady don't want to get hit. So whenever a pass rush is in his face, he's gonna just throw it. He's gonna throw it to the dirt. That's why he got so many attempts, because he just throw the ball away. He's not trying to take a sack. But run the ball, establish something. Even if you don't, it's not working. The fact that they think you're gonna run the ball will open up the play action. All right. So I don't know, man. And that's Bruce Arians. He's missing, like you said. He's missing. So thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.